WBRZ weather forecast with meteorologist Marissa Nuzzo.
We are tracking Hurricane Delta. Here's what it looks like right now on the radar. You can see that the north side of the system is very rain heavy, while the south side not so much. You can see the center of circulation right about there. Lake Charles already feeling a lot of those heavy rains as it pushes through. You can see a lot of that really thick cloud cover, some of it extending toward the Baton Rouge area. More of it will be moving our way soon. We can also see in the satellite imagery how the system is starting to be pushed off to the northeast, and once the center gets a little bit further north, expecting it to also make that turn off to the northeast as well. Just like it shows here on the forecast cone, this is the projected path, and since the cone is so small, that just means our confidence is very high, and just because you're not in the cone does not mean you will not see impacts. Right now, that bullseye right on Cameron and Cameron Parish, and that landfall time close to 7 p.m., but lots of places already seeing impacts, and we'll see impacts far before 7 p.m. Now, the WBRZ viewing area all under a tropical storm warning, meaning that we are going to see tropical storm conditions in this area today. Then as you move further off to the west, Lafayette, Lake Charles, folks down in St. Mary Parish under a hurricane warning as hurricane conditions are expected, mainly in terms of higher wind gusts. Now, the flash flood watch is also in effect, especially for those areas in East Feliciana and East Baton Rouge Parish. Make sure you are on high alert, especially if there's already some standing water in your area. And in addition to that, we are under a tornado at a risk for some isolated tornadoes for this afternoon. For tomorrow, things will be cleared up, but for this afternoon, there is a risk for tornadoes. The rainfall over the last 48 hours, whenever we say isolated higher amounts, this is exactly what we're talking about. Very small area that happened to be right near the Amite and the Comite rivers that produced about 8 inches of rain overnight, and that left some places with standing water in parts of East Feliciana and East Baton Rouge Parish. Meanwhile, some people in our viewing area hardly saw a single drop of rain last night. Now let's go into the futurecast and see how much more rain or what the rain will look like as it starts to move through later this afternoon. We can see the heaviest stuff will be out towards Lafayette, and what we're going to experience will be those training rain bands that come through. You can see them already starting to develop around 3 o'clock, and a couple of them will move through. There will be this main one, however, that I think will start to move through around 6, last maybe until about 10 o'clock. That will really pack a punch, bringing those tropical storm force winds, heavy rains, and potentially the opportunity for these small cells to produce isolated tornadoes. We'll need to watch it very closely, but once it's done, it's done. We're likely waking up tomorrow to much calmer conditions, some lingering clouds for your Saturday, but the rain will be over. Here's what we're looking like in addition to the rain we've already seen. By the time this is all said and done, those highest rain totals off to the west. The Baton Rouge area could see an additional 2.5 inches, but New Roads, this area off to the north and west, again, closer to 5 additional inches will be possible. Here's a look at those river stages. The Comite River near Jewell Road right now is at 23.93 feet, and it's expected to crest either late tonight or early tomorrow morning near about 26 feet. So it will rise about 2 more feet before it starts to decrease, and this could waver depending on where those heavy rain bands line up. Similar situation for the Amite River at Denham Springs right now near 25.02 feet and expected to crest near 31 feet, though this is a little bit less severe, only in minor flood stage, while the Comite is currently at a moderate flood stage. Now let's talk about the arrival time of some winds and those wind strengths. Here are your locations, the sustained wind speed, and then the maximum possible wind gust. As we get closer to 8 p.m., this is when things are really going to change. You can see the center of the storm is here, but the wind field extends far into Baton Rouge. 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts definitely a possibility. Lafayette could see those 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Then as we go later into the evening, things will start to calm down, but as the center passes closer to New Roads, New roads could be seeing wind gusts close to 70 or potentially 80 miles per hour. Very briefly, but these short wind gusts are definitely enough to knock down tree limbs and cause some sporadic power outages. Now let's watch the clock as we go through the rest of the evening. Things will really start to clear up in the overnight hours. We'll go back to more normal sustained winds, but still some gusty conditions likely to persist into tomorrow as well. Satellite and radar, this is still the very beginnings of what we're going to see impacting Lake Charles and Lafayette. Things still dry in the Baton Rouge area. A couple of smaller showers were moving through the city before, but we are once again going through a more dry period. The winds outside right now very calm, near about 10, and Lake Charles gusting at tropical storm force already, expecting these to pick up later this afternoon. One of the perks of all of this is that it'll be done very quickly. By the time we get through the day tomorrow, we'll start to return to our normal patterns.